everyone, welcome back to my channel and happy fall. We're going to be making two fall decor items today using the faux ceramic technique, and I think you're going to absolutely love them. And as always, they're super easy and affordable to make, and they're also very aesthetically pleasing, so I can't wait to share the projects with you. This is actually my first fall decor video over here on my channel, and I'll be sharing a lot more projects over here and on my Instagram, so make sure you subscribe over here and then head over to Instagram for even more fall content. And without any further ado, let's get started with today's first project. I have seen wood bead garlands in home decor and always thought how cute they look. They go really well with the farmhouse vibe, coastal, bohemian, neutral, and so many more. I'm glad that I'm finally making one myself for this fall season, and these are all the supplies we're going to need to make this garland. I got this pack of small foam pumpkins at Target, and they're great for styling throughout the house. I knew I was going to paint them, and I thought it would be the perfect time to make some faux ceramic terracotta pumpkins. I got these 25mm sized wooden beads off of Amazon, and you can also get the colored ones in dollar store and spray paint them. I had these three sizes at hand, and I was deciding which size would work best for the pumpkins that I have, and I decided to go with the 25mm size beads throughout the garland and add in the terracotta pumpkins in between to give it a more boho and modern look. So next for the paint, I pulled out my neutral color collection of acrylics, and this set of three colors together is my go-to to achieve a custom terracotta shade. I mix them up into sort of like a light terracotta color that look really pretty, and next I'm going to be adding the baking soda to it because we're going to do that baking soda faux terracotta look. I'm using acrylic paint colors today because I was going for the ceramic texture, but we can totally go ahead and spray paint these with the terracotta color. Let's go ahead and start painting the pumpkins. For the first coat, you just want to do a very thin coat just to make sure you're covering the entire surface, and then set them aside to dry for maybe half an hour or so. I tried this in one of my previous videos on some glass jars a couple of months ago, and they came out amazing. I'll link the video for you, and let me know in the comments below if you ever tried this technique. After that, I'm going to go ahead and do the second coat, and this is where you really want to layer the paint. Because of the baking soda, you'll see that texture form and give you that faux terracotta clay look, which looks so amazing and incredible. Try to smooth out any lumps or bumps forming on the pumpkins and let them dry for another 30 minutes or so. I wanted to highlight the stems with the gold leaf paint and add a gold accent to the garland. I couldn't get my paint bottle to open, so I took a small bit of my gold metallic spray paint, and using a thin paintbrush, I painted the stems gold. This step is optional, but I think it adds such a decorative touch to the pumpkins and makes them even cuter. While we paint the stems, I quickly wanted to mention my Instagram page. It's havacuppajo with underscores in between, and if you're already on there, thank you so much. But if you haven't already, make sure to connect with me over there. That way you can share all of your recreations of these DIYs with me. After the pumpkins are fully dry, it's time to put the whole garland together. I'm using a large sewing needle and some yarn and started stringing the beads in. I plan to have 6 beads in between the pumpkins. A lot of wood bead garlands out there are often made with different sized beads, so you can customize it however you like. So after every 6 beads, I strung in a pumpkin, and make sure you don't hurt your fingers while pushing the needle through the pumpkin. Repeat that for all of your pumpkins and make loops at both the ends of the garland if you plan to hang it, or add tassels if you plan to lay it flat. This DIY was super simple to do. You can just play around with whatever colors you like, whatever tones you like. I think this is a fun way to decorate a tablescape, a little window. It can be hung on a mantle or a shelf. It honestly took me 15 minutes or less to complete it. It adds so much texture and natural tones to your home decor, and the gold detailing just looks stunning. Our second DIY today is to make these boho-style pumpkin centerpieces. We'll use the ceramic paint technique on the pumpkins and style them with Pampas and fall florals. These are the supplies we will need: some pumpkins, fall florals, they're all from Target, and paint colors, baking soda, wire cutters so we can cut the floral stems, a knife to cut the pumpkins. We're going to start off by cutting the top off of our pumpkins. Using a pencil, I went around the top and marked the portion I wanted to cut, just big enough for us to fill in the stems. After that, I used an X-Acto knife to carve out the top and then discovered that the pumpkins were not hollow. There's a couple of different ways to tackle this. I use my miter saw to carve out the inside, and if you don't have one with you, you can also use a cookie cutter first to make a deep round cut and slice it off using a regular knife. So you have to be careful and make sure your pumpkins are empty inside, and if they are hollow, you are going to need some floral foam, which you'd then hot glue to the bottom of your pumpkin. Luckily, one benefit of this foam pumpkin was that I didn't need a floral foam to place the stems. Now that we have our opening, we're going to paint our pumpkins. I decided on using some white chalk paint and a light mocha color. We're going to pour a little bit of paint into a mixing bowl, and my preferred medium is baking soda, so I mixed all that up really well. I wanted to bring a boho feel with some neutral colors, and that would go really well with the fall leaves that I have. Next, I started painting roughly onto the pumpkin, super random and super rough, using a craft paintbrush. I also tried this on a few vases earlier. If you haven't checked out that video where I made 3 vases using this technique, I'll post the link for you, and you can experiment with other additives as well to make your paint textured and thick. This DIY is highly versatile because you could pick any fall color and adapt it to match your decor, so my ratio of the mixture was 1:1 baking soda, and to add more texture, increase the portion of the baking soda. After the first coat has dried, I went ahead and gave it a second coat. If your pumpkin needs more coats of paint, even after the floral arrangement is done, you can still easily go back and add them. I wanted the shorter pumpkin to be a slightly darker shade than the first one, so instead of the light mocha, I used the chestnut brown and the same white chalk paint, baking soda, mixed it and painted the second pumpkin as well. Another super simple thing to do is to spray paint the pumpkin. I took the craft paint route because sometimes the spray paint leaves a little bit of a shine, and I wanted to add in the baking soda as I was going for a full-on matte and a calming look. We let the pumpkins dry, and we should be able to move on to the next step and style them for the fall season. I found these leaves and flowers in the perfect shades of fall like yellow, orange, burnt red at Target, so I picked those up. I also got some super cute Pampas grass from Amazon in 2 colors. You can start the arrangement with some greenery. I started mine with Pampas because they are the thickest and more textured of my stems, so I wanted them to be in the center. Because my pumpkin turned out to be a foam one, I could insert the stems into it directly and they were sitting in very secure. I started mixing in different colors, darker and lighter and various textures, and also played around with the heights of the stems. I trimmed them as needed using wire cutters. Some of the stems were super straight but were also very easy to bend and flare up. I was having so much fun styling the arrangement and snuggling in all the tiny buds to fill in all the gaps and make it look full. If any of the smaller pieces are coming off of the opening, you can actually hot glue them in place. I loved how pretty it was turning out and the colors were working perfectly, and since it's a centerpiece, you want to keep kind of turning your floral arrangement around to see it from all sides. And here's how it's looking so far, so I don't want to overdo it, so I added final touches and we're all done with the first one. These pumpkins will be great as centerpieces on your dining room table or for your entryway, on a console table or a coffee table. The possibilities are endless, and I also love this because you can keep these season after season and you can repaint them a different color if you're not feeling the vibe anymore. You can style it first for Thanksgiving and then keep it for Halloween or Christmas and take out what you used for fall, like I'm using the tiny pumpkins, and you could, change it and put pine cones in it. You could also put a vase or a mason jar in the pumpkin and add water and style it with fresh flowers. Target and Michael's right now have tons of florals and dried flowers and grasses, so you'll definitely find the seasonal decor you like. And that's honestly it, and I think they just look stunning. I love the neutral combination. It's super fall, and the textural foliage mixed with the muted fall tones are super boho but done in a modern way. So let me know what you think in the comments. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's fall DIY video and that these ideas inspired you, and if you liked any of my ideas, don't forget to like and subscribe down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.